Alright guys, again kicking this off on Grime from map 1 of this series. We have to the upper left hand side the blue Terran player. It is going to be INnoVation. Took a pretty convincing 3-0 against Snute. Didn't really have to go into the mid or later stages of the game. Going up against the red Zerg to the lower right hand side of the map here from Team Liquid. It is Snute. Alright guys, again thanks for joining us here today for the Team Liquid Map Contest Tournament. Appreciate you guys being here and tuning in. How is SSL going at the moment? Is it almost over? I'm so unlucky we had to overlap with SSL today. Okay, there's one more series. Oh, Supion's still to go? Okay, that's kind of crazy. Alright. But yeah. Tomorrow we're going to have, by the way, Group D of the competition. If you guys weren't aware, that's going to be Bjorn, Solar, Savile, and Haas. So that's going to be a pretty fun set of matches. Make sure you get excited and tune in for that. That'll be again tomorrow. Same time, same place, 1 PM CEST. And then we're also going to be having on Wednesday, we're going to be, yeah, the action doesn't stop, I know. On Wednesday it's going to be the round of 8, but actually just before that it'll be the Group A tiebreaks. Any other tiebreaks will probably play at the same time. Just an hour and a half before the round of 8. We might just not be able to stream them all. But we'll see what happens. But that is the current plan. Round of 4 and third place match on Thursday, and the finals will take place on Friday. Setting on up into game 1 then of this 3-game series. Between INnoVation and Snute in the early game looking fairly standard. Gas pool hatch. Zerg's liking to do this apparently from Europe, and we'll see what these couple of links can get up to as they start to move on over. Moving on over, looking to see what they can get up to. The factory dropping down from INnoVation, his Reaper expand, just setting up into the very normal stages so far. Going over into a reactor now, and looking to see what's going to happen again over the next few moments. So Reaper coming through the center of the map now, looking to see what's up and what's happening. And again, just going to see the single Zerg and the Snute continue to move around as well. Looking to see where it can go, look to see what it can get up to. And still, again, just that Reaper going to be coming on over. They're moving in towards the main base in the next few moments. Green going to start nibbling away. We are on Grime, a map by Fathom, which is a fairly standard map here. A lot of drop ability, I've been saying this a lot of drops available into the main, into the natural, so it'll be interesting to see if that's something that happens. But definitely a map that can go fairly, fairly into macro quite comfortably. You got that third base and a forward location fairly simply. You can move in towards the 4th, the 5th around these locations too, and you got a fair amount of space to work with around the map. Different run-by paths to use with the Zerg. Lots of pushing potential in certain positions, but also flanking potential too. Why can't the mini-map be brighter so you can actually see the outline of the terrain? I think you can see the outline, right? I guess it might be a little bit hard to see maybe on the stream perhaps. I guess I see what you mean, like down here it's actually quite dark, isn't it? Why it's not been scouted already? Okay. That's the sort of feedback which we can pass on to map makers and stuff as well, though. Like Brighton, if it's something like Brighton, it's obviously that's one of the things that's very easily fixed compared to, hey, the entire idea of the map just fails. That's that sort of feedback is a little bit harder to fix and so on. So, but yeah, interesting map. Lots of bases. Kind of cool the way it could play out. Lots of bases, but not really a map that splits very easily. You're just going to be seeing the Overlord just going to get taken down. Snute not going to find any information with this. He's going to lose the OV. Throwing down a Bay Nest. I'm pretty sure Snute probably was watching the last series. He's already had a good score against Zest. May as well make it as good as possible his run today, where making sure he can play well against INnoVation by watching that Nurture series and just checking to see what he should maybe be preparing for throughout this game. +1 vehicle plating is on the way up at you right now from INnoVation, so he's setting up into that. The second factory coming down. INnoVation looking to play some Hellion Cyclone here in the early stages, so second factory going to drop on down into Reactor. And it is going to be Hellion/Hellbat Cyclone. Interesting to see plating though. Why go plating? Because Cyclones benefit so much from the attack upgrade. The Cyclones just attack so quickly that every single time they attack, if they've got +1 damage, it's actually a huge damage increase. So I'm surprised to see plating coming in instead. see what INnoVation does with it. A couple of things from Snute just still scouting around. He wants to try and figure out a little bit more as to what's going on. Is there more than just the first couple of Hellions around here? Is there more than just Hellions coming out? What sort of composition is this going to be? Well, again, for now, he only really sees Hellions. And there's a lot of them back away. Well, Snute, he's actually still droning up to 60 workers against 41. He's got a few Banelings ready. He's going to need a few more units soon because, again, this attack is potentially going to get ready to go shortly. The thing is, he saw all the Hellions, so he knows they're here. He's just not doing much about it right now. We'll see if he obviously is going to be justified in feeling safe enough. For now, INnoVation not attacking, but his +1 vehicle plate finishes. It should generally be a sort of timing window where he looks to attack. And if you've just finished an upgrade, obviously you can try and take advantage of that before upgrades or tech or so on finishes up for your opponent. That's why you so often see something like a stim timing, right? As soon as stim finishes, boom, you hit. Give your opponent as little time as possible to prepare for that army being a little bit more powerful than it was previously. Hellions moving around. 4th base from Snute on the way up towards the top side. Not going to expand through the south, which is, again, sort of what I feel as though was very expected of this sort of map when we were originally judging it, expanding through the south, etc. We're going up top instead. The issue right now for Snute is just the fact that he doesn't really have units to fight against this mech army. He's been droning so heavily, and I think you could probably just say he's been a bit too greedy straight up here. Morlings on the way out as the Hellbats are actually starting to go down. I mean, these Queens, there's a lot of them, and he's pulling back with them right now to try and survive a bit longer. Viking will land to try and help out. Queen's turn to fight again. Another couple of Lings moving forwards, another Bane or two going to try and help out. And while the Hellbat count is decreasing and Snute is beginning to hold this off, this Queen count is also starting to drop a bit more rapidly than previously. 3 Hellbats are remaining, more Zerglings going to be dropping into play. More Hellions and Cyclones coming across the map as well. This doesn't get too much easier anytime soon for Snute as INnoVation splitting away for those Cyclones, minimizing the damage done by the Banelings. Especially as more Cyclones arrive, it's becoming more and more difficult to imagine a way that Snute defends this. 5 Cyclones here. No, 6 Cyclones, I really can't count. 6 Cyclones, still 2 Hellbats, the Banes still trying to do what they can. Finally getting rid of a couple of Cyclones here, another one up top is very low. It's just not going to be enough though, another Queen popping out. The Cyclones just take so long to die in this situation. The plating, I guess, is actually doing quite a good job in terms of helping these units survive as well, right? They're just staying alive that much longer, start tanking so many more hits. The Zergling's actually barely doing any damage to these Cyclones every single shot that's dealt. And I think that might just be the thing that helps INnoVation push through here. This was very narrowly a defense by Snute. He's just not quite going to be able to make it happen here on Octane. INnoVation going to end up taking game number 1. Very powerful timing window that he hit and just struck with. Snute being a bit too greedy. If Snute actually stopped droning like 10 drones earlier, it maybe could have made that difference, because this really was one of those situations, I think, where Snute kind of... This really was one of those situations where Snute was in a position to... How do I say that? I don't know really how to say this at all. I think Snute could have defended this, I guess. It's just, he had to stop droning early. He had to make sure he made units sooner. He would have been able to make it happen. I mean, eventually he'll hold this off, right? Imagine you just had the initial wave of kind of Ling Bane was just a little bit faster, a little bit more, just so you could actually fight it. Would have been crazy how successful that could have been. 70 drones, just a bit too early into the game. And now Snute is going to have to go into recovery mode. He's on 50 workers against 70. He's got a 3rd base, well, his 4th base up, which will act as a 3rd for now, as he's obviously his 3rd base went down. He'll start to rebuild that. But look at the lateness of the tech from Snute as well. +1/+1, just starting. Lair, just starting. As he comes on it, he'll look for a cancel on the CC, and it will get cancelled pretty quickly. But Snute definitely not looking to be in the best of positions here in game number 1 of this best of 3. Another few Banes just going to keep on morphing in. Another few Banes just going to keep on morphing in. A few Hellions coming in to get rid of the Zergling as well. And again, these Cyclones of INnoVation going to be trying to tank a little bit too at the front. We're going to see the Zerglings coming into the surround. They are going to get 1, 2, and 3 Cyclones actually. So nice pickoffs there, almost, maybe, no. Cyclone's still staying alive, just about. Again, INnoVation just has too good an army against continued Ling Bane. Ling Bane is really not designed to continue being able to fight against Hellion Cyclone. And there's a reason we usually see something like Roaches come into play to help against a composition like this, or even if you do play like a Baneling-based style, Hydra Bane is the way you go rather than Ling Bane. INnoVation doing good damage early, and with that we'll take a 1-0 lead in this series. Hellbat's coming in, Ling's getting surrounds. This is really looking as though it's going to be GG. INnoVation takes the first game against it. So INnoVation, the vision of it yourselves. rather than me just trying to make you imagine it, right? So let's introduce the players and we'll go around the map and show you guys the interesting parts, because we did see a really cool TvZ. In fact, I think this map has given us two of the greatest games so far this event. Scarlet vs. TY yesterday, and also Gumiho vs. Hero the day before. Anyways, bottom right hand side, our blue Terran player INnoVation coming into this now 1-0 up, has yet to drop a map here today. Unsurprising, considering he is just, you know, the GSL champion. No real surprises there at all. Top left hand side, the red Zerg player from Team Liquid is Snute. We're just going to open pool first. So let's talk about this map a little bit. Most players have been expanding here as their natural expansion. Looks as though Inno is actually going to go command center first for a CC in the back here. So he's going to expand on kind of the further back base. So I think should just take the forward one. As a Zerg player, you're going to go up to 3 hatches anyways, so the creep spread further forwards would be nice. There's kind of a disadvantage of taking this back base, which is that if you have to defend an early attack, you can't really bunker here, you know, to cover both places. You'd have to kind of bunker, like, it'd be really weird to actually hold both bases, where if you're in an attack early, hold bunkering up here, could work pretty well. So anyways, what are these pink squares, you might be asking? Well, that is why it's called Neon Violet Square. A lot of these squares are around the map, and they are blockers, so you can't actually walk over these. You can walk through them. So the idea is these are kind of 1x1 gaps, and these 1x1 gaps are used around the map, and they block off. Basically, it's kind of weird because Ultralisks can move through them, but siege tanks can't. It's a little bit confusing, but basically it's kind of difficult to play mech. If you have mech units, a lot of them, tanks and fours, have to move through this gap here, which is a 2x2 gap, allowing you to, you know, still get large units on the map, just in a bit more of a convoluted manner. So it's kind of interesting. The whole idea is these squares are here, they're in the middle, and again, 1x1 gaps here, meaning large units have to go around the sides. It's just a way to make the map kind of play differently based on what compositions are being utilized by each player. Hatchery finishes up on the natural expansion from Snute, and he's just going into that link speed already here. Factory on the way up from INnoVation. Let's see how he wants to open. He's opened Hellbats in some way or form every single game so far today against the Zergs. Let's see if he's going to keep that tradition up or if he's got another plan. Obviously this was CC first, and he's actually gone CC first into just a single gas. And so that generally suggests that he's probably not going to be going in towards a Hellbat attack, but rather, more likely, something along the lines of a third command center very early. He's already got 460 minerals set up here. Nice micro on these SCVs. Doesn't lose anything more than he needs to. And there is the third CC coming down as well. INnoVation building everything just on location. Just setting up fairly greedily in the early stages to go up to a free base, which he's going to feel comfortable with playing into a macro game. Couple Hellions on the way out from INnoVation here. Obviously wants to set up in towards, again, a little bit of map control, a little bit of safety on the map. It's just going to be set it up towards that, and yeah, and get it ready to go, get it ready to roll. This couple of Hellions going to pop out and again, just see what they can do, I guess, over the next few moments. Link speed finishes up, and again, the third hatch is now on the way from Snute. Now, third hatch is actually going to come in a forward location, so he's going to be expanding down the left side. Going to leave that back base for just a little while. Obviously, just wants to set up to 3 bases early, pushes creep out a lot. Take that base a little bit later on. You know, basically whenever he needs base, he can just fall back to taking that one. It's a fairly easy base to defend, so it's something that Snute does a lot on maps which have kind of in-base expansions. So on, I think he was became very well known for doing it on Varney Research Station. Able to pull back and kind of, you know, keep his natural for a long time. That was kind of done because he felt the natural was very exposed and droppable. There's a lot of reasons to potentially do it. As we see that Baliness on the way up here from Snute. Armory about to finish, and again a couple of Cyclones, a couple of Hellions coming out. 2 of these Hellions actually moving up top. One of the things you'll learn to love on this map, by the way, is that you can move through, when units move through these squares in the center, they do a little cool little zigzagging motion if they're moving kind of like downwards like this rather than like that. So we'll keep an eye on that. They don't do it on this bit here, but we might see it here. A little bit of zigzagging. These Hellions, they know how to drive. Alright, factory is up on the reactor still, actually. Lots of Hellions, a couple more Cyclones. Going into the armory once again for the +1 vehicle plating. Kind of looking to play the same sort of thing as he just did before, the double reacted factory. And he's just going to be going in towards the and the Hellion Hellbat Cyclone attack. This time Snute a bit more prepared, already setting up a Rotor on his +1 missile upgrade coming through as well in the Evolution Chamber. Just continue to set up in towards this. He's just going to be seeing this factory. Going to lift up, and it's going to be a third factory onto the reactor. Going up to 6 factories in total. Wow, 3 factories on reactors though. That's quite a lot. You know, that's, you know, usually you see like a double reactor factory, and that makes sense. You know, that's something which does add up, and people are like, okay, yeah, okay, I can get behind that. Triple reactor factory, and building. What is going on? He's building 5 more factories. 8 factories at 5 minutes, 6 minutes in game. The heck is INnoVation doing? Is this just kind of because he was able to get up to 3 bases and had 6 gases so early in the game that he can just justify doing this? That's kind of crazy. It is not just kind of crazy, it is straight up crazy. It is just straight up crazy. Again, the Hellion's poking around. We're going to see a creep teamer picked off. More Cyclones on the way. Cyclones are able to move through these little gaps, by the way. We're not going to see it just yet, but it's something they can do. So you've seen the hatch on the low ground for Snoot's 4th. Again, trying to hold forward positions rather than relying on this backwards base. Hopefully, one of the awkward things about this backward base is it may be a little bit hard to get into to defend if you have to come through this kind of choke point. And so that is maybe one of the repercussions of having such an easy to take natural. 1-1 still on the way up then, Ravager's on the way out as well. +1, +2. Oh my god, every single factory has a reactor on it. He's going mass reacted factory. INnoVation is literally looking to mass up Hellions and Cyclones. I don't even really know what to say about that. Like, that is kind of crazy. Mass Hellion Cyclone coming out here is going to be seeing these Hellions pushing around, seeing where he can go. Snute has a, I mean, Roach is up, he's got Ravages up to help push this back, but is Snute ready for mass Hellion Cyclone? 9 Hellions and 4 Cyclones building at a time there just moments ago. This is crazy. This is actually crazy. Hive on the way up, +2 missile starts from Snute as well. For now, he leads in upgrades with +1 Carapace in play against. Sorry, +1 missile attack in play against no +1 attack, but things will even up. INnoVation will take maybe a slight lead, +2 play until the +2 missiles finishes. Just a massive Hellions, and there's the Cyclones as well. Snute's actually working his way through these rocks. He's actually going to get caught in a bit of an awkward spot where his Ravagers are in the front. Oh no, Snute, that's not what you want at all. You just lost like 5 or 6 Ravagers. That's some expensive losses from the get-go here if you're just about thinking about fighting this army. 3 Ravagers actually only going down. I thought it was a few more. More Ravagers will begin to morph then. Snute, not yet maxed out. He's got money in the bank. INnoVation is, but it's not really the quality of army you'd usually expect INnoVation to have, considering he's playing mech. It's kind of a little bit weird. Mass Hellion Cyclone walking across the map. Snute does have Pros of Battles utilized. You can use these to help push this back a bit. And obviously just slow it down, especially moving through these squares. If you're able to kind of pile onto the squares, you're able to push them units back, and there's only so many places the units can move through, right? And Roach and Ravage is just going to kill off another set of rocks, and opening the doorway once again through in towards his bases. Snute begin to expand further back now. This base here might be the cause of that, because you might realize he just can't really hold this. He has the army that's moving down. In fact, Snute's going to move a lot of his army down to deal with this army down here, but at the same time he's going to have to make sure he has enough to defend up top. It's a very hard split to make, and it's not really a split he's making very well right now. It feels but actually a lot more Roach Ravager from the northern side. He's actually having a pretty good time against these Hellbats, so it's going a little bit better. Now though, Snute taking damage to the left-hand side. Hellions and Cyclones under, firing away on that hatchery. Once again over here. Going to see a Roach going down as well. We've seen the units continue to be picked off. We've seen the Hellbats continue to drop as well. And that'll be that. The Cyclones and Hellbats pulling back down towards the lower right hand side. But Snute's held this off. This is kind of really crazy, and I mean, I didn't really know what to make of this. It's hard to really figure out what's happening, but I think Snute comes out of this almost maxed out against still Mass Hellion Cyclone. INnoVation doesn't have any tech labs still. He's still making the same thing, but now Snute has the chance to maybe get on the aggressive side of things, and that's going to be a little bit tough for maybe INnoVation to deal with here. We're just going to pick away at 2 and a third Hellion. Good damage continue to be done. Snute with a lot of units going to push forwards, and again another Hellion getting taken down once more. Snute should be feeling confident and maxed out with this army. At the very least, I think you have to push forwards and see what you might be able to get done. Maybe the squares are here to simulate Brood War pathfinding. It's actually a cool idea, you know, like to slow units down, maybe cross the map to force different compositions. I like the idea of it, like, and honestly, I mean, so far we have seen some of the best games of this tournament, I feel, being played on this map, so, you know, it's working to some extent. I think it's one of these cool things which is new enough to, like, be interesting and different and to bring something different to the table, but not something so different that it kind of majorly affects the way the game plays or anything. It's not like Art of Janus, where the entire game that you know and love as StarCraft is just completely changed. No, not at all. Snute falling all the way back. I guess because every time he turns to fight, INnoVation just turns around and just dodges the engagement, just backs away. Snute maybe just wanted to fight on the creep again. Oh, look at those bios as the Hellions wolf into Hellbats. Obviously they're mobile during that time, and so Snute's corrosive bars completely connect on almost everything. I think INnoVation is out of options here, guys. Snute's going to keep on pushing forwards. Hellbats, Cyclones, and all sorts are being chased away. I think everything's going to go down. Snute is going to be able to pick up game number 2. It's going to be GG. Snute takes the second game of this, and he's going to tie it up. We start in the bottom left-hand side of the map, which is where we're going to be for a lot of this game. Our Blue Zerg player here on Sky Garden from Team Liquid is Snute. He's up against the Red Terran to the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I mean, they literally spawn. If we do this, we can just about see the CC down here and the hatchery up there. Maybe if we do, oops, no, I zoomed in again. If we do that, there we go. We can see both of their bases. Down here is INnoVation, our Red Terran player in this game. Snute has seen the refinery here, so he knows it's a close by air game. Opening hatch, gas, and pool this time around for himself, rather than what he's been playing so far, which has kind of been a gas pool hatch, so changing things up slightly. INnoVation just going to be playing that Reaper expand in the early stages. We'll see where this Reaper gets to, see where it's going to move out to, and see what damage might be done. Second time we've seen Sky Garden. The first time we got to see cross spawns. This being close by air really makes things interesting. Again, all spawns enabled on this map clearly. It pops out in INnoVation. Going to be moving across here now. Question is, does INnoVation realize it's all spawns enabled? Because it's possible he maybe doesn't. It's kind of a tough one to communicate with all the Koreans about everything about these new maps, obviously. He's going to jump up here first. He's going to see nothing in this main. So then he'll check the other main, and then he'll probably begin to realize exactly what this is. And we'll see how he's going to try and play this out when it comes to close by air. The thing is, you can obviously expand, you know, up here for the third one base when it's close by air. And then because it's close by air, you can actually take the fourth wall very far out the way up here, rather than having to expand towards your opponent. So, interesting stuff. There's rocks between the bases to make it a bit of a larger push around towards the close by air positions by the ground. As INnoVation going to continue down towards the bottom left, and you can see a little bit more of what's going on. At the 632 and the 641. Yeah, it is a little bit of a close spawn to each other. I guess, I don't know, like, maybe this is sort of 7, and Snute's sort of at 8 o'clock. I suppose Snute is just going to expand upwards, of course, both players now knowing that this is close by air. Well, INnoVation, what a build to choose, considering he didn't know it was close by air when he started to go for this build order. This is going to be a little bit disgusting. Opening 2-1-1. Wow. Wow. Guys, don't hit on the map just because of the spawns. I mean, this map was really cool when we saw cross spawns the other day. Maybe, maybe it becomes apparent that it needs to have close by air turned off, but that doesn't necessarily mean we just have to hate on it. Like, let's just enjoy the map for what it is. Again, changes can be made. Changing the the fact that close by air can't spawn or something is very simple to do. So let's just enjoy the map for what it is. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how the game goes. Maybe close by air could work out here. We've had crazier things in map pools as of late. Anyways, we're going to see the lair on the way from Snute, and that's what worries me. I'm not sure what he's really getting up in preparation to deal with the 2-1-1. We were talking about Medevac's going to be landing in Snute's base at like 430, 435. That's going to be kind of painful. He's got some lings on the way up now. He's already going up to 4 queens. That's my issue. Only 4 queens? It's going to be pretty tough for him. Well, let's see what happens. The Medevacs are... where are they? Oh, they are. Sorry, the starport's still building them. I missed them on the production tab there. But yeah, there's going to be like a super fast drop. But at the same time, right, Snute expects him to drop over here if it is going to be 2-1-1, right? So you can't really drop here very easily, because Snute's going to be on top of you almost instantly. Well, let's see. Snute does see this, and he's going to just pull back. He's actually just going to wait. Not in a position enough to stop this just yet. And there's INnoVation. Well, I'm just going to sit back a moment. 2 queens coming forwards. More lings on the way out. Snute will want to stop dropping the Baneling Nest sooner rather than later, as INnoVation actually just lifts up and going to relocate down to the low ground. Going to get an Overlord in the process. Oh, is there transfuse? No, there isn't. Actually, Snute hit a supply block because of that. That does hurt. Especially because a further wave of units will probably come across the map shortly. And again, no Bane Nest. Spire on the way up. Snute choosing to go for kind of Mutalisks. See, obviously the Mutas would hit very quickly across to the other side and into INnoVation's main base, but it's so difficult for him to actually get into, I suppose, to get up the Mutalisks, I suppose. It's going to be intriguing. It's going to be, see what's going on. Yeah, I was saying Snute's going to be tricked about where INnoVation is. Snute originally scouted this refinery with his Overlord, so he knew exactly where INnoVation was very early in the game. Going to be seeing the Lings going to run in, a few drones going down, a Queen too, but the Lings are going to have enough of a surround to force INnoVation to lift up here. Snute going to be able to push that back. And again, 4 Mutalisks on the way up, a couple more Queens popping out as well. Marines getting surrounded here by those Zerglings once more. Just continue to set on up into this. The next 2 Medevacs going to load, and obviously that becomes the next kind of issue here for Snute. Continue to turn these drops away. INnoVation about to hit +1/+1 and combat shields will make this a lot more difficult. As you're going to see, Lings and Mutas are going to join in together to fight this, but the Lings, if they go down, will then cause the Mutas to have to be very careful about how they fight this. And the Lings that were about to counterattack are going to have to come back home to deal with, again, a group of Marines pushing forward. Still no Baneling Nest, as you're going to be seeing Snute does clean up every single one of those units in the main base. INnoVation over here as well is eventually going to get pushed back too. He's going to be able to jump on top of those Medevacs. There's a boost away. INnoVation even will pull back, and Snute has held on here, but man, is he in a little bit of a tough spot overall, because he doesn't have still a Baneling Nest, right? He's only on Ling Muta, and he's just going to go all in, it seems. He's going to have to find a way to break through at the front. Obviously, a depot is going to be one of the more obvious ways things to target down right now, but, well, if he gets through the depot, there's a possibility here that he can do this here, because he's going to get surrounded some of these units. The Mutas are going to come in to help as well with that. Marines are dropping, more Zerglings coming in, another depot going down, a big choke point though that Snute is attacking into, and it is painful. He loses one of the Mutas there, he's fighting against 1-1 upgrades, but there's not that many Marines left over, and now SCVs are going to start dropping rather rapidly. Marines are going to push in from this left-hand side from INnoVation, still dropping over here, but again, Lings are getting a better surround now, and if it wasn't good before for INnoVation, it's not going to suddenly get better out of nowhere. Lings continue to stream over here. Snute knows he needs to keep these Lings coming in, because he needs to get rid of any further producing units as they pop out. 35 workers killed, and Snute 30 supply lead. Still playing without the upgrade advantage. Still playing in heavy upgrade deficit, in all honesty. Something's going to sit on this ramp, or depot for a moment to stop it from being raised. Wing count is now starting to fall. There isn't a wall off on the low ground though from INnoVation, down to 20 workers against 43, but he does have triple CC. These Lings are setting up, and they're going to run forwards again. Again, no replaced wall off by INnoVation. I'm not really sure why. You're going to see those Lings, well, they don't have to fight on the high ground. They can get rid of the mules on the low ground, and that alone is great damage done. And if Snute gets the engineering base, well, that's 2-2 denied, and that does mean he's going to even up the upgrades eventually here, putting him into a better macro position to continue on. Can he get these engineering bases? I think it's worth committing Zerglings onto to get the kills. He's going to get one of them, +2 armor. It's the less preferred upgrade, definitely, for Snute to pick off here. But it's still one of the upgrades at least, so it will help the Zerglings, at least in the terms of fighting. Will still be doing some damage. Good damage, even if they're not going to be able to take as much as he might want to. A few more Mutas on the way out, and actually already some of them are up. He's going to intercept a Medevac in the middle of just kind of being rallied kind of across, and INnoVation being a little bit careless with it. Maybe not expecting Mutas to come on out. Still no Baneling Nest, by the way. Snute making this work off pure Ling meter. Now the Bane Nest coming down, but obviously one of the big issues of having such a late Bane Nest in this scenario is going to be the fact that his Bane speed is going to come in so late into the game as well. You're going to be seeing another creep tumor going to drop here. We're just going to be seeing INnoVation pushing forward. Snute with a must defend situation, but he's only seconds away from 1-1. 10 seconds or so until that's finished. He's going to start pushing in right away. Again, having to fight without the upgrades is very painful here for Snute. He's losing drones. His muter's starting to clean up quite a lot. He just needs a few more Zerglings to really help tank against these Marines here, especially now 1-1's finished. Looks as though the muters might be able to get the job done as they continue to chase forwards. Marines are continuing to drop right now, and Snute continuing to clean up a heck of a lot. Muterless medevac going down there actually as Queens. Going to transfuse each other as well. Snute 16 workers ahead. Even supplies down an attack upgrade, but the armor upgrades are even. And that is a big deal now, because again, it means the Lings will do the damage they need to do. And there's now again, medevacs full of Marines going down. That's big pickoffs here by Snute, who's now going to get rallying reinforcements, because there isn't going to be medevacs to just lift up and save the day. This medevac goes down as well, and INnoVation falling apart a little bit here now in game number 3 against Snute. Is Snute going to go and win against Zest and INnoVation here today? Well, that would be pretty crazy. There's INnoVation pulling back over to the right-hand side. Still has free CC, is still only on 20 workers. He's been putting all of his money into Marines rather than even beginning to invest back into SCVs. Snute has a 4th base up over here. Could take the gold base as well, honestly. I actually don't think the gold base would be a bad base to take at any point of this game compared to this base here. With these spawn locations, there's no real way to punish it, I don't think, actually, so I'm not sure why Snute doesn't go for that. By the way, Bane Nest is up, but no Bane speed yet, and that's something which Snute still has to kind of find. Make sure he gets himself, because otherwise he will be in trouble. Continue drawing up a little bit right now. The muters obviously here as a distraction, something that can just keep track of where that Terran army is, keep track of where that Terran army is moving, and you know what, just in general, what's going on. Give Snute some good ideas as to how exactly he can make this game go. Marines pushing forward, we'll find some Zerglings. A lot of Lings over to this side are looking to counterattack, because this is not a completed wall off. And so Snute will now pull back. He's going to get some Banes up at home as well defensively, because again, he's going to really rely on these Lings getting good damage done over. He's going to go up. Oh, he's not going to go up towards the main. He's going to go fight these Marines. A few Lings going towards the main. So his SCVs will start to take some damage. Again, those Marines with +2 attack will do a lot. Only 3 workers killed so far. A couple of Banes morphing in, forcing INnoVation to react here, basically. Muters, Banes all sorts setting up. Again, no Bane speed right now from Snute, as INnoVation's army is going to push forwards. That counterattack from Snute didn't really do enough to justify what he was trying to commit into, and so INnoVation might just win this here with these Marines pushing over. GG from Snute. INnoVation makes it work, but what a game.